Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trap Chat. This is part two of the summer reset, owning your growth, your glow, and catching your light. Woo! I am so
Mm.
excited to be joined today by Michele Petersmark, a licensed clinical professional counselor and success coach dedicated to helping individuals find empowerment through strategic life and career transitions. Woo! I'm told that she hails from the west side slash the best side of the shy. Um,
Absolutely.
she is a mom who loves roller skating, photography, murder mysteries, trap music. Surprisingly, she's an introvert, but all of those things. And my favorite uh, tag, I guess, is the CEO of her own mind. Okay.
Absolutely.
We are here to talk to you today. I'm so excited about our conversation. We are going to jump right in because we have a lot to cover. All right. So, you made a career pivot in the middle of COVID. Very
Mhm.
chaotic of you. You walked away from a role by most measures, you were doing really well. What was pulling at you underneath the success? And what finally moved you to change direction?
So during COVID, which was, you are absolutely right, such a havoc, something new, something different, something unknown, all of my favorite things that I'm used to. And it was during that time that I felt spiritually it's time to move. I actually had friends that thought they were concerned. They did an intervention. They said, Michele, this is not the right time, especially since it was a lot of African Americans that was dying. People were losing their jobs, etc. But I felt if not now, when? And so I used it as an opportunity. Once we got transitioned home, that's when I realized the peace, the noise stopped, the corporate demands stopped because I felt safe, I felt protected, and I felt this is the time.
Love that. Safe and protected, a feeling that a lot of us don't get in corporate America. And I am glad that you uh, decided to, like you said, remain the CEO of your own mind and your life and make that transition for yourself. So during our prep call, you were very open about a stretch where adult bullying left you relabeling yourself through other people's eyes. Coming back from that also means rebuilding trust in your own voice. What did that look like for you, and how do you help the women you coach rebuild that same trust in themselves?
hmm adult bullying is something a lot of people do not talk about, especially as adults, and it still occurred. What I saw was when you become successful, and success looks different for different people. For me, it would be having the high caseloads, having people consistently coming back that did not look like me.
Oh,
Um, you saw retaliation, nitpicking. It was the first time I ever experienced being good was considered bad. Uh, Finding yourself in corporate America as Black women, we already do a lot of, we have to be extra above average.
mhm.
But being successful, not being able to lose yourself. I went through a period of isolation that was intentional,
Okay.
because I had been there for probably 17, 18 plus years in different areas. People came back and told me, people that didn't know that I've been there so long that I knew other people coming in, that they were told, don't go to her for any questions. You only go to this person. Don't talk to her that she's a negative person. And that was the pull. I was at the top of my game. Never experienced anything like that. I know a lot of women, I've heard your show, and your show is exceptional.
Thank
And
you.
I know a lot of the women have talked about having amazing mentors,
Hmm.
and Black women as mentors. I didn't get an opportunity to experience that. I had a few, maybe one or two, and they were white women
Okay.
that had came from the south side of Chicago, that
Hmm.
maybe some mingling helped, but
Hmm.
an opportunity, um, and push for me.
Okay.
But peers, isolation, retaliation, purposely being left out, been told, I guess, at other meetings, Michelle didn't want to attend when that was not the case. So that was for me adult bullying, being followed to the bathroom, being timed for everything, um, to the wire, while other people did not. And, and what I want to tell people, the longer you allow something like that to happen, and you even with the strongest confidence, it's taking hits. It's taking,
Hmm.
and the instant thing I wanted to do was feel invisible,
Oh,
and I didn't allow that to happen.
okay.
I stayed strong. I persevered. That was self affirmations that I tell everyone about. I actually do them. I don't tell anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do. But it took a toll. It's exhausting when you have to stay quiet so that someone else that's in leadership roles don't feel intimidated. And so I made a decision that I'm gonna be true to myself, authentic to myself.
Okay.
But I was silence is powerful.
Yeah.
I start being silent by choice. That's a difference than someone silencing you. And I
Okay.
let the mistakes occur. And the
Okay.
mistakes did occur. And I was okay with it. And then other people, and I would tell anyone that's going through adult bullying, get outside of that circle,
Okay.
because bullying is the same thing. It's people with insecurities, and long as it goes in that circle, it stays in that circle. I went outside of the circle,
Okay.
and then apparently after I left, my understanding is anonymously other people start speaking up about what had happened. So a lot of times with bullying, people see what happens. Same with our children, but as
Mm,
adults, being able to get back to yourself without losing yourself,
yeah.
that's the key.
So the rebuilding means taking that step back, um, and just trusting yourself and letting things happen the way they did. Like I'm sure that confirmation, although it's negative, kind of felt like, see, like I did the right thing. I was not imagining this, and I think that's going to go a long way. Thank you for sharing that, because I know there's a lot of people who do experience that. They don't have a name for it. They don't see bullying as something that adults do to one another, or they label it something. And I'm going to say this as someone who works in corporate and in HR who has to use labels, like, oh, it's a microaggression. There is nothing micro about the way that changes your whole mindset around things. It makes you question yourself. It makes you feel undervalued, like no value, like you're,
Mhm.
again, like you're by yourself. But I love that you put that being by yourself is not the problem. It's deciding to take that step back and be away from yourself and not worry about what the other folks are dealing with and going through, that's making you feel like not yourself. So I love that. Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Okay. Whew. Your coaching, it's built on relationships, and a reset can change who has a seat at your table. When you're stepping into something new, how do the relationships around you shape who you become? And how do you decide which ones to lean into versus let them outgrow?
That's a great question. I would tell anyone, see who actually celebrate you and cheer for you. Sometimes take a pause before you go to the next one and see a person's reaction. Are they really happy for you? Because if you're going to have an inner circle, you want some cheerleaders, you want some deep connections, you want people that believe in you, even if they don't understand it. They don't have to understand the why.
Yeah.
but they want to be there for you through it all. I found that some people just like to spectate.
Mm.
hmm Just see if it happened. So then I knew it. Or, uh, they kind of like, let's see how Kirsten is going to pull this off. Is it going to really work? So
Mm.
you have people that spectate and pretend that they part of that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so important to watch the company that you're around.
Oh,
That whole saying, the old saying, one apple spoils the whole bunch.
yeah, it's true.
That can, hmm and what you are around, if you're around something that's filling you up, or a person, place, or thing,
Yeah.
you grow.
Okay.
You put me in a room, if I was in a room in front of a lot of millionaires, your mind is going to expand. That's the thing about the mind. The man can expand to reset,
Oh,
to let go of old things, to make room for new things.
okay.
And I
I
think
like
you
that.
talk a lot about that with building relationships. In order to build good relationships, the first relationship outside of your spirituality, mine is God. I know other people have different things,
Yeah.
is yourself. That is the
Mm.
only person you are with 24/7, no matter what, is yourself. So the narrative that you tell yourself, you have to make sure it's accurate.
Mm.
You got to
Yeah.
check in. Don't let a lot of other people, because people like to put you in one category. They like to sum it up and make their own conclusions. But what you think about yourself, how you talk to yourself,
Yeah.
that matters. So that's the reset.
I think the women our age need a class on that, talking to ourselves in a good way, especially those of us that are going through that situation.
hmm
That part's not fun. And like I know you said that, but I get on my own nerves sometimes, and I know I got to be at myself 100% of the time. But like there's times where I'm like, "You're annoying me, Kirsten. Like, can you go somewhere else?"
Well, I had a habit of, if something didn't go right, Michelle, what did you do wrong? I changed that
Oh,
to self-reflect.
okay,
What did you do well, and what is it that you want to change? All of us have 24 hours. No one person have 1 hour more or less.
okay,
So being unapologetically yourself matters. Pouring into yourself before you step outside of your safe haven matters, because if you rely on other people to give it to you, they have more power than you.
okay.
When you give it to yourself, I cannot change the color of my skin. I was born black and I'm gonna die black. So showing up as who I am, making room at the table, stop trying to prove that you belong when you know your path. That's why it's important to be able to celebrate the wins,
Okay.
because other situations in life will make a person think, all of these years, or I feel undervalued. If you feel undervalued, don't stay where you feel undervalued. Go places where you feel valued. Put
Yeah,
value into yourself. Pour in yourself like we do other people. We do it all the time. We would never let a lot of people go through what we
we
would
go
put
through.
ourselves through.
True.
hmm
That is a great segue into our next question. You kind of already answered it, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You say you dare yourself to show up as you are. In a reset, it's easy to slip back into old roles or other people's expectations. How do you hold yourself accountable to the version of you you're becoming?
That is a great question. Stand true to myself. Recognizing work Michelle is different from personal Michelle. So switching the
Oh,
hat off. It's important to take that hat off. It's important to reset. It's important to pour into yourself. Especially, it's a difference between being depleted and being drained.
okay.
Um, in the Bible, it talks about a cup overflowing If your
Mm-hmm.
cup got to be full and over to overflow. So you've got to be at the top of your list. Expanding your mind also means shifting, not being afraid of pivoting, which is why I started empowerment coaching.
Okay.
This is for the corporate ones, it's for the entrepreneurs, it's for people that's ready to step out, but it's still some old residue left over
Mm.
from families, from work, from experiences, from pain,
Yeah.
and showing people how to grow that into more resilience. That
Okay.
because of the pain that I got through, this is a great time to expand my mind. It's a great time to reset. We do it all the time when we're dancing. You know,
Mm.
any kind of black dance, it requires some stepping, some turning, and some movement. So we shuffle all the time, but finding a way to shuffle within yourself to be able to say, I'm going to be true to my authentic self. I'm going to hold myself accountable, not to the other person, but the better version of Michelle.
Okay.
Then it becomes a fun competition. It's a comparison to yesterday's version of Michelle, not to you,
Mm.
not to this person. Because when God gives you something or wherever how you receive your vision, it's
Mm.
not for everyone. And learning the power of silence is accountability.
Yeah. I love
Sometimes,
that.
yeah, silence is powerful if it's used correctly. Sometimes we talk too much before something comes to.
Mm.
And learning how to use silence, learning how to shift, shuffle. When the trap music, the reason why I love trap music is it tells a story.
Yes.
It's about survival. It's about how you grow up and
Mm.
how, despite the odds, I grew up in a single parent home, despite the odds, learning how to be successful. And
Yeah.
what success look like you, it starts with the inner peace. The inner peace start with the reset.
Okay. Another great segue. My next question is about resetting and resetting with purpose, which oftentimes can mean moving before you have all the answers. You've talked to me and you've just about faith, and you've mentioned it a few times while we've been here about faith and trusting in what some will call the unknown. What proactive steps or systems keep you moving when the path is not fully clear?
Trusting,
Trust.
trusting in yourself. We trust all the time in other things that we have absolutely no proof of. I'm trusting right now that this chair is going to hold me up. It is nothing I'm trying to test. It's just that I assume it. I assumed when I was in corporate America, they told me you get paid every 2 weeks.
Trust
I
it.
didn't know if it's true, but I trust it, right? So, trusting, it starts with trust. It
Okay.
starts with learning your own value and worth, not based on other things, but how you see yourself.
Okay.
Um, Learning to connect with yourself so that you can learn how to connect with others. Being having connections means going forward a lot of times blindly. Um, I just came back from an amazing convention
Okay.
at McCormick Place. I was that was blindly going, I forgot about all of these expressways and new curves and new lines. That's so again, blindly going and trusting that somehow this curve is supposed to lead me to the street that's supposed to lead me here. And doing the same thing with yourself. Being walking without knowing, taking a vision, speaking your vision, imagine it as if it's already happening and walking into it
I love it.
and
So,
showing up for yourself.
as you were talking, and I know I wrote this question in a certain way of what I meant by clear, but you redefined even what clear meant for me, because the way that I wrote it was like when the path isn't clear, meaning when meaning it's not defined. And you talked about not only it not being defined, but there being obstacles in the way and the path not being clear. So I'm like, oh, you did something without even know, without even knowing you did it. Because again, I was thinking the path isn't clear, meaning the path isn't clear to me, my in my vision, and you use that word specifically, vision, but you also talked about sometimes the detours that you have
Mm-hmm.
to take. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart and I don't even know I'm smart. Good Lord.
Girl, you be on it because clarity doesn't always come from the answer. We all know 1 plus 1 is 2.
Unless you are, what's his name? The dude that thinks it's three or something. Like four.
Exactly.
He thinks it's four. I don't know what he thinks. I can't think of his
I'm
name.
not
Terrence
sure what
Howard.
he
Terrence
Terrence
Howard.
Howard. Yes. Certain things are there,
Yeah.
but going on the outliers of something,
Mm,
daring yourself to expand. The expansion have to come from within. You have
yeah.
to see it in your mind. Everything is created. Everything that we're looking around right now has been created. It came with a thought
Yeah.
and it got expanded.
Okay.
The same with you. You didn't know how far you were going to reach all
No.
of these amazing people that you have had on your show, but it did.
It
Sometimes we
did.
don't have to see all of it. We can just see the step or the thought and just make some movement.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is the last question in the main section, and it's about the series. And the series is about owning your growth,
Hmm.
protecting your glow, and catching your light. What does it mean for you right now to catch your light? And how would you help the woman who finds this episode who's mid reset protect
Hmm.
her own glow?
You capture your glow.
Capture it.
You capture it. It's fleeting by. We used to call them fireflies,
Okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
we would try to run and capture it. Sometimes you got to go after something and not be afraid of going after what you want. Capturing yourself means looking at all of who you are so you can see what parts need to be shifted. Which parts do I just need to nurture a little bit more? It's kind of like a plant. I'm bad at plants. I've killed most plants unintentionally by typically over. Sometimes we overthink. We become over compassionate, very distracted, and we lose our path. So it goes back to glowing up means capturing it
Okay.
and holding it for yourself that it's there. It doesn't have to be a part of you if you learn how to capture it and make it become. So it's becoming. Now, becoming, making it more of an action,
Okay.
a verb that you go after.
Okay. Was it Michelle Obama or Michelle Petersmark becoming? Okay.
Becoming was is an
So Chi
actionable
Town.
thing.
But
Mm.
she's from the South Side though, right?
She from the South Side. Listen, we
Okay.
that was the bougie side compared to
Oh,
the West Side. To the
okay.
West Side. So that means it's more of what you're talking about. You mentioned proactive as being focused,
Hmm.
future thinking.
Yeah.
In order to future think, it goes back to expanding yourself, expanding how you see yourself, expanding how you see the world, expanding either half full, half empty. You can have one, and this is a true story. This actually happened. True story. At the convention I was at, a waiter was dropped something
Mhm.
right in front of all of us. Five people, guess what, Kirsten? Five different perspectives about what happened. Although it was the same action, same person,
Oh,
but everybody saw different perspective. So being able to see instead of, well, I don't belong, what about what if I did belong? finish the thought through. What if this is not going to be successful? What if it would be? What would it look like?
Yeah.
Taking yourself beyond the self doubt, which is what I tell the women, especially some of the older women that's all they know was corporate life, shifting or
Hmm.
shifting because of menopause, perimenopause, or all of the stuff that some of our parents did not talk to us about.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Shifting, embracing certain things so that you can learn how to navigate and
Okay.
pivot
I
and
love it. I love
embrace.
it. Yeah. Oh well, the embrace part. I think we did that last series was about embracing. Yeah, right. Because it was about pivoting and embracing the changes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All
Mm-hmm.
right. I love this conversation. It's time for some additional fun. Um,
Ooh, I
the
love fun.
the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I'm excited about these because I really I usually try and like I usually think I know what people are going to say, but I really don't know how you're going to answer some of these. Okay.
Ooh,
Who's
this is
a
gonna be fun.
well-known and or lesser known historical or contemporary figure who inspires you and we should learn more about?
We should learn more about Fred Hampton.
Yes.
The reason being is this 21-year-old
Mm,
who was trying to be strong for people and saw cause
yeah.
and knew that the world was against him.
I love
That's what happens when people can come together. It's the same like the story with you know, I like to use the example of a lion,
it. Okay.
preferably the lioness, since we do all of the work sometimes. While the king still be the king, while she's going out there bringing the food.
Yep.
Part of the wisdom is some parts, yes, we can do alone, but it's also strength in a group. Because then sometimes you see the lioness and her girls, and then they're gonna go in to take down.
Yeah.
So it's about learning to navigate alone and learning when to get the support in.
Okay. I love that. And for anyone who doesn't know, Fred Hampton Jr., Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is still around working and
Absolutely.
and and preserving his father's legacy while building his own. So shout out to you for that.
Mhm.
Staying very Chicago today. Okay. What's
well,
the
I, well, I love trap music. What that was what started in Atlanta. So
Oh, okay, okay, okay. But y'all, what is the Chicago music? What do the kids have? Drill is drill. That's what the kids have. I don't know any of those songs, but
look, I'm old school. I go back to the TIs
okay,
and yeah. Hmm.
okay. What is the best piece of career advice you've received that you would give your early career self?
I would give my early career self stay, see what happens, and if it's not enough, don't be afraid to change.
I love that. Three
Mhm.
steps: stay, see what happens. If it's not enough, don't be afraid to change. I love it.
Mhm.
If you wrote a book describing your career so far, what would the title be?
what you know. What do you know?
What do you know?
What do you know?
Not much.
Not much. You have to open. You'll have to open a book to see all of the layers.
Yep.
So I say, what do you know?
What do you know? Okay. Ooh,
Mhm.
what fictional character gives you a glimpse of yourself?
Now this is going to be interesting. Uh, fictional for me was Wonder Woman. Dun, 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 dun. And do you know why?
Why?
Because she was strong. She wasn't from here. She knew how to navigate between positions. She twirled.
Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. You talking about?
Hmm.
Okay.
And so two in one. that you can be multiple layers of yourself and embrace all of them. She knew how to put on the glasses and she knew how to take the glasses off and turn. And it was the first time I saw a character that was a woman that was in a hero role.
Okay.
Later on, eventually got some black ones in there, but that was the first time I saw, wow, a woman can be strong, still be feminine, still
Yeah,
be soft, but know where her limits and boundaries are.
I love it. You're my first Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, I know. So I know the genre, but I'm gonna lean on you for a song then. What is your go-to songs, or music genre when you want to hype yourself up to conquer the day?
Trap music.
I
That's
know. I said
easy.
I know the genre. So
Okay,
like,
so more than
what's
that.
the song you
Okay,
gonna put on?
recently, it was Unstoppable. It was by I believe her name is Sia. It's
Okay,
the words that she said in there. It's all affirmations
unstop.
that you win every day.
Okay,
I am unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes, no wheels, that I'm invincible and I show up every single day.
okay.
I just like the words to it. I'm like, okay. So learning how to switch, that you don't have to stay still. Whatever pulls the words out, let it pour into you.
All right. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one too. What is your favorite empowering quote?
Be who you are. Be who you are. You are the best thing. You are your best thing. I think that was by Toni Morrison. You yourself, you are your best thing.
I love it.
That, yeah.
Okay, so you gotta pick something different because this could have been a takeaway. But what's one thing you want people to take away from our conversation today?
I want them to take away that being authentically yourself and showing up and becoming your own cheerleader, knowing your self value and your own self worth, recognizing your accomplishments, and don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid of change. Don't let other people label you. Add, amend, and adjust chapters, making sure you got the right narrative. And you
Okay.
can have as many books and series as you want. You get a do over every 24 hours when you get this wake up. That's a do over. No 2 days are ever the same.
I love that. So before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to shout out any information you want to give. If you have another conference coming up where people can come and see you, if you have any events or speaking engagements, or if you just want folks to know where they can find you, please give all of that information.
DM Empowerment Coaching. It's virtual, it's a safe space to empower yourself to whatever is next in your life, to get that back to yourself. And for upcoming things in the summer and the fall, I do free conferences
Okay.
and free workshops. I love doing that, building confidence, self esteem, anything broken. So, and a special shout out to Nyasha.
Yes.
Special shout out there, who's always on top of her game. But yes,
Yeah, shout out to Niasha, who, if y'all didn't see the last Trap Chat episode from the Pivot series that I did this spring, Niasha was the last guest on that show, and she is the person who introduced me to Michele. It was supposed to be just Michele, but Michele challenged Niasha to be on the show. So we are very happy that I got a 2-for-1 out of the deal. Yes, shout out to me. Maybe I.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you again for joining, Michele. This has been a very enlightening conversation. You are truly, truly a light. You don't have anything to catch. You could actually throw some back at us because all the light is already there. And thank you all for joining, and hope to see you on the next episode of Summer Reset Part 2. See you next time.